Hi, this is Yeva. Welcome to my channel. I got another scrapbook process for you guys. I've got a sketch, and I love sketching. If you've been watching videos, you know that. And I'm starting with 4 photos that are 3 by 3. In the sketch, it says that the photos should be 3 by 3, but there's also a gap in between the photos, if you can see in the corner there. So I was hesitant about cutting mine down, but I decided to keep them because anyways, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I start with kind of laying out my photos and seeing how much space I have or what should I do. And then I go through this packet, which is by Echo Park Paper Happy Birthday Collection. It's fairly new, but I think about a year or two old. And I pick out random papers that I think could work. And this is just my process of how I think. And I kind of lay it out, look how it looks good, and then I, adjust as needed. So I like that orange paper, but when I brought it up to our faces, or to the photos, it really brought out all the orange tones, and so I brought in this blue instead, and it actually brings out all the blue tones. So just think about paper and how it affects your photos too, and I thought that was really interesting. It really stood out to me as I was working on this layout. And so I'm just going to continue. I decide on doing about, I think I cut down 1.5 strip photos, and my plan was to have the photos touching, but having a little bit of a gap between the strips of paper and the photos. So kind of almost making a border around it. And I was like, I'm just going to commit, let's just get things down. And so I decided to do a 2-inch gap from the top, start with my photo, and then just kind of staircase down. And as I continue working on this layout, I'm realizing more and more that this would be a great layout to use more simpler patterns, but that's not how I worked. But it's okay. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. My point was that my other thing that as I was working, I realized that I want a bigger gap between the strips of paper. And so what I actually do, and this is off camera, I decided not to put this in, is I actually carefully ripped off the strips and I cut them down by about 1/4 or so. So if they're about 1.5 inches right there, I'll just cut them down. Here I'm just struggling with something. Something was off. But anyways, and I'm much, much happier with that. So think about that too, how busy your photos are, how busy your patterns are, and how close those patterns are to those photos. So it was just a learning curve, and I'm okay with that. So here you can kind of tell that the gap, the strips are a bit smaller, so there's a bigger gap. And I think that kind of almost frames it. So I'm actually working on the title right now, and I like how in the sketch there's this big title right to the left of the whole page, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to write Happy 3rd Birthday. I have this awesome die by Mama Elephant die that says birthday. I'm so happy I purchased it because birthday is a pretty big word, and to use all those stickers and those T's and A's and I's and R's, which I always run out of fast. I struggle with that, so I'm happy I have the die so I can make multiple layouts that says birthday. Here I'm struggling with the number 3. I wanted Happy 3rd Birthday, but the 3 just felt really odd. It was too small. It didn't fit anywhere. So I decided to actually write out the word 3rd. And I'm really happy with that. So that kind of worked. And I eventually put a number 3 sticker elsewhere, and you'll see that later on. Now, according to the sketch, this is it. I mean, there's just journaling that would be missing, and that's done. But that's not really my style. It felt very empty, and so I bring in some washi. I barely use washi. I still have it. These are really thin ones, and I'm so happy how it turned out. The only problem is I ran out there. As you can see, that blue one, it was barely half a page. So I decided to bring that blue down to the bottom, and I completely struggled with this yellow one. Blah, almost gave me a heart attack, but it worked out. So just 1 strip at the top, 2 at the bottom, so it kind of brings the weight down, and I'm happy with that. And then I do something else. Oh my goodness, I rarely use stamps on pages, and here I am using washi tape and stamps. What is going on? So here we go. I think it's all the quarantine that's getting to my head. So hey, but I'm happy with it. Down at the bottom, I use both top and bottom. I use a light gray ink, And at the bottom it says, sending you sunshine and laughter. This is a old Hero Arts stamp sets, like sentiment stamps. And at the top I say happy birthday repetitive. So really happy with how that worked out. And then I'm working on embellishment. Now my video does cut out towards the end, but I'm pretty much done. I just embellish just a few little corners with some cork circles, just again to soften off all those edges and just bring everything together. There's actually a close-up video of all the embellishments if you want to stick around towards the end. And of course I add some enamel dots and the date. Thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you like this layout. Like, subscribe, and catch me next week for another layout. Thanks for watching.